Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into some of the most significant man-made disasters that have occurred recently. These events have had profound impacts on communities and the environment. Let's get started. When we think of disasters, we often think of natural events like earthquakes or hurricanes. However, some of the most devastating events in recent history have been caused by human actions. These man-made disasters not only cause immediate destruction but also have long-lasting effects that can take years, if not decades, to fully understand and mitigate. In this video, we'll explore 5 shocking man-made disasters that have left an indelible mark on our world. From explosions that leveled entire neighborhoods to environmental catastrophes that affected millions, these stories serve as stark reminders of the consequences of our actions. So, buckle up and prepare to delve into the harrowing tales of the Beirut Explosion, Deepwater Horizon oil spill, Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster, Rana Plaza collapse, and the Flint water crisis. On August 4, 2020, the city of Beirut was rocked by one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in history. The blast was caused by the detonation of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate that had been improperly stored in a warehouse at the city's port for 6 years. The explosion devastated large parts of the city, killing over 200 people, injuring thousands, and leaving an estimated 300,000 people homeless. The causes of this disaster can be traced back to a series of bureaucratic failures, negligence, and corruption. Despite multiple warnings about the dangers of storing such a large quantity of explosive material in a densely populated area, nothing was done to address the issue. The aftermath of the explosion has led to widespread outrage and demands for accountability, with many calling for systemic changes to prevent such a tragedy from happening again. The impact on Beirut has been profound. The city's infrastructure was severely damaged, with buildings, roads, and hospitals all affected. The economic repercussions have been significant, exacerbating an already dire financial crisis in Lebanon. The human toll has been immense, with families torn apart and communities struggling to rebuild. In the wake of the explosion, international aid poured in to assist with recovery efforts. However, the road to recovery has been slow and fraught with challenges. The Lebanese government has faced criticism for its handling of the disaster and the subsequent relief efforts. Many survivors continue to cope with trauma and loss, and the long-term effects on the city's social and economic fabric are still unfolding. This disaster serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by negligence and corruption. It underscores the importance of accountability and the need for robust safety measures to protect communities from preventable tragedies. As Beirut continues to rebuild, the lessons learned from this catastrophe must not be forgotten. On April 20, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, operated by BP, experienced a catastrophic blowout. Located in the Gulf of Mexico, the explosion resulted in the deaths of 11 workers and millions of barrels of oil spilling into the ocean. The environmental damage was unprecedented, affecting over 1,300 miles of coastline. Marine and wildlife habitats were devastated. The oil slick spread across the Gulf, contaminating beaches and marshlands. The impact on marine life was severe, with countless fish, birds, and other animals perishing. The economic repercussions were significant, with the fishing and tourism industries suffering substantial losses. Long-term health effects on residents exposed to the oil and dispersants are still being studied. The disaster was a result of a series of failures and oversights. It highlighted the need for stricter regulations and better safety practices in the oil and gas industry. BP established a $20 billion compensation fund to address the damages. Cleanup efforts involved thousands of workers and volunteers, and numerous lawsuits were filed. While progress has been made, full environmental recovery will take decades. The Obama administration implemented new safety standards and increased oversight of offshore drilling operations. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill remains a stark example of the potential consequences of industrial negligence. It underscores the importance of robust safety measures, regulatory oversight, and sustainable practices to prevent future catastrophes. On March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake and subsequent tsunami struck Japan, leading to one of the most severe nuclear disasters in history at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The natural disasters caused the plant's cooling systems to fail, resulting in nuclear meltdowns in 3 of its reactors. The immediate impact was catastrophic. The plant released significant amounts of radioactive materials into the environment, leading to widespread contamination. Over 150,000 residents were evacuated from the surrounding areas, many of whom have yet to return due to ongoing radiation concerns. The disaster also caused a significant loss of public trust in nuclear energy. The environmental damage was profound. Radioactive materials contaminated soil, water, and air, affecting agriculture, fisheries, and wildlife. The cleanup and decontamination efforts have been extensive and costly, with estimates suggesting that it could take decades to fully address the contamination. The Fukushima disaster had far-reaching implications for the nuclear industry. It prompted a global re-evaluation of nuclear safety standards and led to the shutdown of several nuclear plants worldwide. In Japan, the disaster sparked a national debate about the future of nuclear energy, leading to increased investment in renewable energy sources. The human toll of the disaster has been significant. Many evacuees have faced prolonged displacement, mental health issues, and economic hardship. The disaster also exposed the vulnerabilities in Japan's disaster preparedness and response systems, leading to calls for improvements in emergency management and infrastructure resilience. In response to the disaster, the Japanese government and TEPCO, the plant's operator, have implemented numerous safety measures and reforms. These include the construction of a massive seawall to protect the plant from future tsunamis and the development of advanced technologies for decontamination and waste management. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster serves as a stark reminder of the risks associated with nuclear energy. It underscores the need for stringent safety standards, robust regulatory oversight, and comprehensive disaster preparedness plans. As the world continues to grapple with the challenges of energy production and environmental protection, the lessons learned from Fukushima must guide future decisions. On April 24, 2013, the Rana Plaza building in Dhaka, Bangladesh, collapsed, resulting in the deaths of over 1,100 garment workers and injuring thousands more. The building housed several garment factories that produced clothing for global brands. The collapse is considered one of the deadliest industrial disasters in history. The building was constructed with substandard materials and without proper permits. Despite visible cracks, workers were forced to continue working under unsafe conditions. The disaster highlighted poor working conditions and lack of safety enforcement in the garment industry. It brought international attention to the need for improved labor rights and safety standards. There was a global outcry for change, pressuring brands to ensure better working conditions. Initiatives like the Accord on Fire and Building Safety were established to improve factory safety. The disaster led to increased awareness and activism among consumers, questioning the true cost of fast fashion. It spurred a movement towards more sustainable and responsible fashion. Despite efforts, challenges remain, and the Rana Plaza disaster serves as a reminder of the human cost of cheap clothing. The Flint water crisis began in April 2014, when the city of Flint, Michigan, switched its water supply from Lake Huron to the Flint River as a cost-saving measure. The new water source was not properly treated, leading to the leaching of lead from old pipes into the drinking water. This exposed over 100,000 residents to dangerous levels of lead, a potent neurotoxin. The health effects were severe, particularly for children, who are most vulnerable to lead poisoning. Residents reported a range of health issues, including skin rashes, hair loss, and cognitive impairments. The crisis also led to an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, which claimed the lives of at least 12 people. The response to the crisis was marred by delays, denial, and inadequate action from local, state, and federal authorities. It took over a year for officials to acknowledge the severity of the problem and take steps to address it. The crisis exposed deep-seated issues of environmental racism, as Flint's predominantly African-American and low-income population was disproportionately affected. In the aftermath, numerous lawsuits were filed, and several officials faced criminal charges for their roles in the crisis. Efforts to replace Flint's lead pipes and provide safe drinking water are ongoing, but the recovery process has been slow and fraught with challenges. The long-term health and economic impacts on the community are still being assessed. The Flint water crisis also led to significant changes in water safety regulations and policies. It highlighted the need for better infrastructure investment, stricter enforcement of environmental laws, and greater accountability from public officials. The crisis also spurred activism and advocacy for clean water and environmental justice across the United States. The Flint water crisis serves as a stark reminder of the importance of safe drinking water and the need for vigilant oversight of public utilities. It underscores the consequences of cost-cutting measures and the critical role of government accountability in protecting public health. As Flint continues to recover, the lessons learned from this crisis must inform future decisions to prevent similar tragedies. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Stay safe and see you next time. As we've seen, these man-made disasters have had profound and far-reaching impacts on communities, environments, and industries. They serve as stark reminders of the importance of accountability, safety, and sustainable practices. While the road to recovery is often long and challenging, it is crucial that we learn from these events to prevent future tragedies. By staying informed and advocating for change, we can contribute to a safer and more just world. Whether it's supporting ethical practices in the garment industry, demanding better environmental regulations, or ensuring safe drinking water for all, each of us has a role to play. Let's work together to build a better future.